There was a lot that went on here. What's the latest? Well, of course, early this morning, in fact, Elliott and Salesforce, not unexpectedly, declare peace. They declared love. It's nice for all of us, I think, to kind of feel the love there. Mark Benioff saying, I've thoroughly enjoyed getting to know Jesse. That's Jesse Cohn, who runs activism at Elliott, and the team over the last few months. I'm grateful for Jesse's mindful and constructive ideas. Look forward to a good relationship with them. Jesse, for his part, says he has great respect for Mark and his team and has been deeply impressed by their strong, ongoing commitment to profitable growth, responsible capital return, ambitious shareholder value creation plan. Of course, Salesforce shares have had a great year so far, right up, 43%. There's some of the excerpts that we're talking about. Why are they saying all these nice things? Well, they're standing down. No new directors. No new directors will be nominated or therefore have any chance of joining the Salesforce board. And everybody wants to take credit, Jim. Of course, Elliott wants to take credit. Should point out they've never gone to a proxy fight here in the United States to a vote. Never. Not once. They did in Korea, in South Korea. But everybody wants to take credit. Salesforce would say, listen, we put a plan in place in September, and then Jeff Smith came in. We accelerated things. And where are they now? 27% operating margin guidance for this year. And they say they will exit Q1 of next year at 30% operating margin guidance. Last September, they said they had a 25% target over a couple of years. So they have accelerated that. And, of course, they had that very strong quarter the morning after we told everybody that Elliott had nominated for the board of directors. So not unexpected, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of goodwill. But Elliott's bigger, as you always taught me. I mean, Elliott's got Jesse, but it also has, Dan Senior. I used to write with him.
Yes.
He was a terrific guy. I know that they felt that I think Mark exceeded their greatest expectations when they reported that quarter. What I was surprised was where was the love earlier? But I think that there's going to be let's say, a friendship that's for real. Mark's going to do something that's different. Let's call it different. Remember Arconic, Klaus Kleinfeld?
Sure.
It's the exact opposite. I think there turned out to be a lot of mutual affection, and that's good, Carl, because there were a lot of just traditional shareholders who decided that it was time to go with Mark once he beat the quarter. I mean, traditional, the kind of the fidelities. And I think that shows that there's a sense that this is a great growth stock again. Now, it's interesting on Einstein GPT, that was not really a focus of the amazing teaching that we had from Jensen Huang and NVIDIA, but I would say that Mark is very gung-ho about that. So good outcome for everybody.
Well, a couple things. One is if you listen to the COO, they're not done cutting headcount reduction.
No, they're not. That's a very important point.
Well, they've got to reach those operating margin targets, and that's going to require them to continue to be very mindful on the cost side.
And then Goldman today takes a look at overall generative AI. They take the TAM, 150 billion,
right,
versus overall software TAM of 685.
I didn't like their piece because it talked about long-term productivity, and I think it very much is in disagreement with the kind of industrial part of GPT that Jensen Huang talked about. I just didn't buy that. I do think that we're getting into kind of a have-not world, David, where you have when you have these the enterprise software companies. There's ones that are making money, and then there's ones that are still doing GAAP make money, and people are losing interest in those rather rapidly. So I think it's important to recognize that Salesforce has now jumped the queue and has become, I think, literally at the top, along, by the way, with a very unheralded Adobe quarter, especially because Adobe was the one, I think, that Jensen Huang and NVIDIA spent the most time about working with.
And they also are doing a lot of things when it comes to generative AI at Adobe in a very significant way with new products.
I just don't want to
see an awful lot of computing power. Some stories today about the cloud providers benefiting overall because the computing power needed to run the likes of ChatGPT is very significant.
The losers are people you often mention. Humans.